presentation for early childhood development class. So my topic for today is birth at home. So what is a home birth? So a home birth is a delivery that the mother does at home as opposed to a hospital or a birth center. There's definitely assistance required for this. Even though you're having it at home, there's definitely doctors or a midwife that you need to have in order for the delivery to go smoothly. There are risks to consider if the mother has had a C-section or if the mother is carrying multiples at a time. This is definitely, a home birth is not ideal for these types of situations. There are many reasons why a mother would be taken to the hospital and when they're trying to have a home birth, and different complications that come from that. So if the mother has high blood pressure during the delivery, or if the positioning of the baby is not correct, this is definitely something to consider. Also, if there's no progress in the delivery, if it's not coming out naturally, it obviously has to be induced. So these are definitely reasons why a mother would be taken to the hospital during a home birth. So what are the risks of a home birth? Obviously, a home birth is riskier than having it at a hospital. Obviously, at a hospital there's a bunch of equipment and a lot of nurses and doctors ready to assist, and at home birth that is not possible. So there is a twofold increase of a baby's death if there is a home birth, and a threefold increase of risk in seizures or dysfunction for the baby if it is done at home. So there's definitely scary statistics, but there are obviously a lot of benefits to having a home birth. So obviously a familiar place for both the mother and for the child when the baby is born. Obviously this is a plus because the mother is in a safe, familiar environment, so that's definitely helpful. There are fewer lacerations and infections for the mother, so this is definitely a huge benefit for the mother to consider. There is more control over the whole delivery in general. Is something that the family can control more. An example of this could be the delivery position. So how the mother wants to position herself during delivery, this is definitely something that they can control. No pressure for medication. So maybe at the hospital they want the mother to take an epidural or pain medications. Obviously they don't have to do that in a home birth. It is a lot more free. It is way cheaper to have a home birth as opposed to a hospital birth. So this takes us into the disadvantages of a birth at home. Home births may not be covered by insurance, so that is definitely something to consider. And even though it may be cheaper, it still might be expensive as opposed to a hospital, which should be covered by insurance. There is a possibility of having hospital transfer, again if there are any complications in the mother or for the baby, and this may cause a delay in the care of the child and the mother during delivery. And again, it can be very messy, so you definitely need a lot of supplies, a lot of towels, and a bunch of different supplies. So again, this also can be a little more expensive. Having a home at birth. Having a birth at home. So if you are planning on having one of these, there's definitely a lot you have to plan out. So having the assistance required, like I mentioned, having a doctor or a midwife, definitely planning for that. Having a birth plan if the mother wants to breastfeed or have formula, definitely have all the supplies ready for that. And plan for a hospital transfer. So having the transportation ready and the directions for the hospital, which having a hospital birth is definitely possible, like I've mentioned. So there are definitely things to consider. So I hope you gleaned information from this presentation and that you consider this when you have a pregnancy and a